Welcome back to the show, Business Mastery for Startups, Scale-Ups, and Early Stage Businesses with your host, Jerry Gadori. That's me. This week, I want to stay away from the interviewer and interviewee mode and give you another week of things that I'm seeing in the market that'll really help you or really hurt you as you're building your team and building your company. And that's this. And this is critical, folks. What do you as an employer owe your team, owe your employees, owe the candidates that you talk to when you bring them into your company? Let me save you the trouble in case you don't have much of an attention span. You can click away right after I say these words, though I hope you don't, because we're going to dig into it and I'm going to give you some real world examples and some solutions. But it's this: you owe them whatever you agree to them about what the role is, or with them about what the role is. Whatever you share about what working with your company is, whether in a written agreement, such as I will pay you X dollars per hour, or I will pay you X dollars per year, or I will include these benefits, or the job description itself detailing the role. Whatever you agree in an agreement or implicitly is what you owe them, and nothing more. I need to dig into this for a minute. So again, I hope you'll give me 10 or so minutes because it's important. When you create, let's start all the way at the beginning. When you create a job description or a job ad, you put it out in the marketplace. Too many people just make that a laundry list of the things they need, and then they cover everything in the interview, or at least they think they do, and they bring somebody aboard. First things first, that job description, can't speak today, folks. A job description should be from the perspective of the candidate, meaning what's in it for them. Why should they continue reading and potentially apply for this job? It should give them the information they need to have an understanding of what working with that company looks like and what's expected of them in the role. Not too much information. You want them to engage with you and your recruitment team, of course, but they should have an idea of what they're walking into. Overly general job description is a waste of everybody's time. You're going to solicit a billion candidates, few of which are a match for what you're looking for, and it just is a waste of everyone's time. But most importantly, it should set the stage for the talk with your team. And that talk with your team needs to spell out in detail the expectations. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and let me say this in clear voice from my chest so people in the back seats can hear it. Folks, when you're interviewing people, if you don't share all the information of what it's like to work in your company, then you're not giving them the tools to decide whether or not this is a good match for them. And this, my friends, is how we get cultural mismatches. Again, I've done this for a very long time, and I see far more bad matches than I do bad candidates and bad companies. Okay? Get it right in the interview and you save yourself enormous pain later. And it's going to bring up a second part and the end of this story, and that's about trust. But let's dig into that in just one more minute. So when you're talking to them, if you clearly describe what it's like working for your company in clear terms and what expectations are, you empower them to make a good decision. You also get to explore as an interviewer what their responses are and whether or not, from your perspective, they seem like a good match so that you can make a decision whether you want to move forward with them. Avoid cute phrases that imply something and give them specifics. Let me give you some examples. Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Candidate, we're a work hard, play hard culture here. Most candidates know that's code for I'm going to put in a lot of hours and you're going to chuck me a pizza party as a thank you. And nobody loves that, by the way. But I say that a little bit tongue in cheek to say, be clear with them. So, Mr. or Mrs. Candidate, we're a startup environment, and this is not a 9-to-5 job. We try not to abuse that. We try to keep as close to 9-to-5 as we can, but we rarely succeed. When we get close to project delivery time, sometimes that even means off hours and even weekend time. I want to be upfront about that because while it's something that we're looking to get in control, we haven't yet. Is that going to turn some candidates off? You bet it is. But those candidates would have been turned off anyway. The difference is they would have been able to make that decision now, and you would have been able to save you and them pain. Another example, let's say that your company isn't very diverse and you're trying to diversify your employee base. When you're talking to a diverse candidate, hoping to woo them in, you can say, we're a diverse company. We're looking to add you to increase our diversity. Also, what in this example would be called a lie. That's not the way to do it. Be clear with that person and say, look, we're not a very diverse company. We're taking serious strides to correct that. We believe that adding diversity will, whatever you believe it will do, and we'd like you to join our team in that effort. You are a clearly qualified candidate. You see your merits stand for themselves, and with the added benefit of helping us to be more diverse. When you say that to a candidate, are you going to turn off some diverse candidates? You bet you are. But once again, as in the prior example, you're giving that person the opportunity to make a choice. What's the win there? You're not wasting their time, and you're not wasting your resources, and you're not, and here's my transition, folks, try to catch it. I'm going to be super subtle, eroding trust. Okay? I can't say this loudly enough, folks. The trust that you have with your team and that your team has with you should be something you guard like the keys to your Bitcoin safe. Why? Because if you damage it, it's very difficult and sometimes impossible to repair. Trust is not a commodity. Trust is something to be safeguarded. And it happens with the little things. If you're very clear with people from their first interactions with you straightforward, you're building that trust from day one. And when something happens that seems a little strange, you get the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because they trust you. When you trust people, you only have to explain yourself once. When you don't trust people, you can't explain yourself enough because they never believe you. Or let me scratch and reverse that. When they trust you or don't trust you. Trust is critical. There's no way to succeed in business if you don't have trust. As a matter of fact, it's one of the two pillars of business success. Trust is the first pillar and success is the other. Why? Because in a business relationship, without trust, you can't build anything. And without success, there's not a reason to move forward. Why is trust the first pillar? Because trust feeds the success. People will jump on a grenade for you if they trust and believe. People will push you on a grenade if they don't trust and believe. So again, this is not a small thing. So let's wrap up with this. Let's circle back to the beginning and say, what does an employer owe his or her employees? Whatever they committed to them, whether in a legal agreement or implied commentary, is what they owe them. And that is how a strong culture is made. You're being clear from the beginning what your expectations are, what success looks like, what it's like to work with your team, and quite obviously, you're also verifying that they have the skills to do the role. That goes without saying. It's why I haven't really mentioned it much today. But by doing that, you're giving them the opportunity to make an educated decision in the beginning. And if they decide to come aboard, you know that they know what they're getting into. In that note, though, you want to reiterate those things at orientation. Mr. or Mrs. Candidate, I'm so happy that you decided to come aboard. I'm excited to have you on my team. Let's just go over again what our expectations are, what success looks like, and what it's like working here. By doing that, you're setting them off on the right path. You're letting them know from day one what they need to do to succeed, what it will look like when they do, and what to expect in working in your space. And you will avoid the trap that I see so very often of people making a bad match, either because the candidate couldn't make an educated decision or because you didn't ask the questions that give you the ability to do the same. So I'm going to say it again, folks, and we're going to wrap it up. What do you owe your team? Whatever it is that you agreed to them. I thank you very much, as always, for giving the show a listen. I look forward to seeing you again next week. Between now and then, as always, continue to be awesome and build amazing things.